What is up, y'all? It's the Sound Alchemist, and I'm here with
Gershwan.
And today we're back at it again in another episode of For the Greater
WAAAGH. This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we'll get those questions first. That is what Benjamin Manning did. He asked, is there a certain reason that none of the Primarchs were created as females? Do you think having at least one female Primarch would make the lore a little bit more interesting? So first answer, I think the Space Marines were created before the Primarchs in terms of like the lore, because they were trying to sell a game where you get to play an army of Space Marines, and then they were like, well, where did the Space Marines come from? Oh, let's talk about the Primarchs. And from the very beginning, Space Marines were supposed to be these or the recruitment process of a Space Marine and the implantation of the gene seed was already set in place before the Primarchs came along in like GW's lore and stuff. So I think that's why the female Primaris or female Primarch was never created. But I think there is room in the lore to say that a female Primarch could have been one of the lost Primarchs. The trouble with that would be the Space Marine offspring not sharing the same type of gene seed, but you could argue that it was that was the reason why the Emperor decided to excommunicate that Primarch, because the gene seed wouldn't have been able to. It's just more work, I guess.
Yeah, because in order for the gene seed implantation to work, you need to have male chromosomes. The XY chromosomes of females don't, they die in the Space Marine process. So that's why there's no Space Marine, female Space Marines.
Yeah, and then if you think about it, if you're the Emperor and you're just trying to create as many Space Marines as possible, and then you have these special Space Marines that only come from two Primarchs, why keep them around? Why not just like focus on the ones that are just like men and that they're more of, and then just do it that way instead of having that offshoot gene seed special thing. Would it make 40K more interesting if there was female Primarchs? No, I don't think so.
I mean, when I think female Space Marines, it always comes to mind. You've got the Sisters of Battle, the Adepta Sororitas. They're the closest things to female Space Marines.
Yep, the Sisters of Silence.
Yep.
Inquisition, because there's a lot of female Inquisitors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think it would make too much difference because the models are already there. So there's a really badass in the old 5th edition Codex or old 5th edition rulebook. There's a cool picture of the Adepta Sororitas chick, and she looks like a badass Space Marine. So the model was already there. And it still is. It's going to come out pretty soon. So I don't think it would make the lore any more interesting.
Right, and it's like, if you are a female, let's say for some reason there were female Space Marines, you wouldn't be able to tell. They got their helmets on, their armor on. Like, it'll look just like any other Space Marine.
Right. It's kind of like Metroid...
Samus.
Yeah.
Everybody thought for the longest time Samus was a dude.
It's like, no, it's a girl. It's just, it's pointless to have boobs in the
armor.
Yeah, in the armor. So, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Next question comes from Brian B. Do you shampoo your beards? Nope.
No.
Actually, when I use shampoo, like it's strictly on my head, and then when I use the soap, it's on my body. I never touch any of this. I just realized.
Really? You don't even like wash your face with like
soap? No.
They're not soap, but like face wash.
No.
Facial cleansers.
Stuff. No, I don't use cream either. I have really ashy elbows and knees. I got eczema. Next question.
Ford, if every Chaos God was associated with an alcoholic beverage, which beverages would you pick for the Chaos Gods?
Well, we'll do liquors because I think it's a little easier and quicker. Corn would be Fireball.
Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Zinch would be something...
A blue MFer?
Yeah.
Let's go this blue.
Yeah. I was thinking of something like something French because she's Zinch seems kind of like skinny, elegant in a way.
Okay.
Or no, that would be Slanesh. Slanesh would be something like
Sex on the Beach.
Yeah.
The martini.
A martini. But I was thinking of you put gin and, what's that other thing?
Tonic.
No, it's not tonic.
Gin and juice.
No, it's not gin and juice. We'll just say gin. If I have it. And then Nurgle would be vomit. That's a liquor, right?
Yeah.
What's the grossest liquor you've ever tasted?
It wouldn't be liquor. It'd be beer, and it was Heineken. I don't like Heineken.
I was thinking like 151. Like Bacardi 151 or any type of rum that's 151. I think that would be Nurgle, because like whenever you take 151, you want to throw up. So yeah, and then who did we miss? Oh, Zinch we never said, right?
Yeah, Zinch.
Oh well, kind of like you said, the blue motherfucker for the cocktail.
Yeah.
Next question. I have one from Russell. Since the Salamanders are at war with everyone, is there no Space Marine chapter that they fought with or helped out? Salamanders haven't been at war with anyone. It's usually that their agenda conflicts with most Space Marines, because most Space Marines don't care about humans, or human casualties, I should say. They care about the Imperial advancement, so that's why there's conflict. But the Salamanders have gotten along with a lot of Space Marine chapters. If you check out the 30K list of battles, they fought alongside like the Sons of Horus. They fought alongside Blood Angels. They're there.
I feel like they truly are protectors of humanity. Right. Pineapple. What's your favorite D&D classes?
I really like the Druid. The Druid is I played the Druid the longest, which might be the reason why I really enjoy the Druid. But the fact that you can wake up every morning and learn new spells, and so you're not restricted. And on top of that, if you choose the Path of the Moon or whatever it's called, where you can shapeshift, you just become like you can do anything. I really like the Druid because of that.
Why would you pick any other path besides the moon? Like, that seems like the best one.
If you want to be more like magic. Because if you want to get more magic buffs and you want to have a higher, what is that thing called? Spell AC? Or spell DC? Yeah. Then I think you would choose the other one. But yeah. What about you?
I'd still have to say monk. I played Warlock the longest and it was fun, but like having only 2 spell slots kind of severely hinders. I mean, it makes you think, but it's like, oh, I know I need to cast this, or I have to save my spells for this. So it kind of makes you think, but Monk was really fun.
I was the DM when you played the Monk, and reading through like what you were going to get in the future was a lot of fun to create like things for. So yeah, there's a lot of room for you to mess with the buffs that the Monk will get, and tie them into the story.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to the, I think there's like a stunning strike where like if you hit, you can stun a creature, and eventually you can do like 6 attacks and have each one stun. That's overpowered as heck. Yeah,
and that class really shows you how you can alter mechanics within combat that just make things run more smoothly.
Right,
and more
instead of just being like, oh, I hit you, now your turn, you hit me, oh, on my turn, I hit you.
Yeah, so as a DM, you could be like, oh, like I want to use that ability that the monk has and put that into this magical item or magical weapon and give it to a player. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it breaks up the monotony of combat.
Yep. Next question comes from Dave the Finder. How many quesadillas can an Astarte eat on a Friday night? On a Friday night, they could probably eat like 5 of the bags of El Milagro, the yellow corn tortillas. So how many is that? I think that's like either 12 or 14. So 5 times 14 is a number.
They'd eat all of them. Avarice. As a planetary governor, would you join the Tau? Why or why not? No, I wouldn't. As much as me myself likes playing the Tau and just likes their whole aesthetic, if I was a planetary governor, I would do everything in my power to comply to the Imperium, or else I'd be dead. That's plain and simple.
I would say that it depends on how close I am to the actual sphere. So Tau, the Sep world of Tau. Because if I'm within like really close range to like the third sphere or whatever, then yeah, I would turn to the Tau because I'm gonna have a better life and I'm gonna be well protected by the fourth and the fifth. Yeah.
But still, you're pretty much gonna see an assassin, and you can't protect against that.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't think about that. I'm dead now. Next question. This one comes from Miguel Reyes. Who would win in a fist fight between a Primaris, no armor, and Ogron with bone and a knob? I'd give it to the Primaris, no armor.
Yeah.
More often than not, because they're more strategic, leverage, and...
Yeah, they said their muscles are like as hard as steel.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Can't be that.
Yeah.
Next question.
Jeff Musyoka. Hopefully I said that right. Oh, crap. My phone just messed up. Okay, here it is. Who is the Primarch of the Blood Ravens? Or are they just a chapter from which legion, multiple legions?
So they are a successor chapter of the Thousand Sons. And it is rumored, or it's not rumored, I think it alludes, a lot of the Dawn of War series alludes to their Primarch being Magnus the Red.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because there's a bunch of like mystery around them, like who they actually are and whatnot. Are they good guys? Are they bad guys? So it seems to be Magnus.
Next question comes from Axis of Evil. While piloting a Titan, does the crew ask the machine spirit to play Despacito? P.S. Arroz con pollo, papi. I like pork better than chicken in my rice. But that's just my opinion. It's my opinion! Next question.
This one's by Israel Gallegos. Do you think that other chapters would trust another loyal Primarch more than they would trust Robert Gilliman? For example, the Dark Angels and the Space Wolves. They don't really seem to trust him, so would they be able to trust and follow another Primarch better?
No. I think that the chapters that you mentioned are extremely stubborn and they will only listen to their own Primarch. Every other Primarch is like,
But at the same time...
Am I saying that right? Yeah, Primarch, right?
Yeah. Like, they're still going to listen to Gilliman, I feel.
Course.
Yeah, because he's on that level of, like, authority and, like, a figure of ultimate charisma.
That's true. Yeah. You gotta factor in the charisma. His charisma modifier is like a +5.
He'd be a great guest on Hot Ones.
Yeah. He'd be huge. Huge. Next question comes from Ali Parada. Do you two work out together? We did one time.
Was it just once? I felt like we did it a few times.
No, I remember one time we did shoulders.
Yeah, I don't like doing shoulders.
You said, I asked you, what do you like doing the least? You said shoulders, so let's do shoulders then.
Yeah.
Let's start it with that. You never worked out with me again. Next question.
I'd see you go into the gym and like, oh shit, let me wait in the in the locker room for like 2 minutes and then I'd run out.
You hide it. This question comes from Lux and it's for you. For the Sound Alchemist, have you thought about making your own custom weapons for your Legion?
Yes, I actually had that back in 7th edition, but with the 8th edition changing up all the rules, I decided not to, because 3 things. One, that weapon type was severely changed, because it was like a mix of like plasma and flamers. And 2, I didn't want it to be OP or underpowered, and I didn't really know exactly where 8th edition put that type of weapon in the terms of like scaling. And 3, this edition I feel like I'm going more like, instead of just making everything my own, like giving my own captains their own stats and stuff, I'm basing it off of already established characters. That way I know, oh, this guy's save of like 2+ and a 3+ invulnerable is too good. It's more of a 4+. Like, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
So I'm basing it more off of codex characters and codex things that are already in the books, so that it's not like I feels like I'm tailoring everything to how I want it to be.
Have you noticed that by doing that, like taking the stats of other characters, you've kind of deciphered what GW does to give certain points to certain types of weapons or certain types of stats?
No.
Not yet?
Not yet, no. Because I feel like I haven't play tested it enough. Because I've got 3 armies, so I'm always mixing it up. And it's kind of hard when you're like, oh, well, I forgot what I gave this guy last game and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But it's a challenge, especially when you're trying to create your own stuff, to really find that sweet spot. Especially in a game where, like, it's all up to the dice.
Yeah.
Like, you could have a really powerful character and you could whiff, and you'd never know how powerful it is.
You could have Gilliman and put him in the front line and have him die the first turn.
Right. You could have a character you play and never actually use him because he always dies the first turn.
Yeah. Next question. This will be the last question. It's by Mr. Duck. And it made you laugh, so I'm going to read it. Gersh, does your missus complain about the beer tickle when you tongue punch Bean? No complaints yet.
Yet.
And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, comment down below. Don't forget we have a Patreon. A simple $1 a month helps us create videos just like this one. And yeah.
Yeah. So if you're gonna be tongue punching Beans, don't wash your beard, guys.
Never. Not even your face. This is Gershwan.
The Sound Alchemist, and we're out.